March Madness is about to begin when this video drops, and I think this is the perfect time to remind everyone it's been 14 years since we last got to play a college basketball video game. On March 17th, 2009, NCAA Basketball 10 was released for the PlayStation 3 and 360. Blake Griffin was the cover athlete, and he was the reigning National Player of the Year, and he had just led his team, the Oklahoma Sooners, to the Elite Eight, where they would eventually lose to the champion North Carolina Tar Heels. Griffin would go on to be the first overall pick in the 2009 NBA draft. He would win Rookie of the Year, make 6 NBA All-Star teams, 3 NBA All-Second teams, and win an NBA Slam Dunk contest. I give you all this history because Blake Griffin played his entire career since we last got to play a college basketball game. Griffin retired in April of 2024, and we still haven't seen a sequel to NCAA Basketball 10 or any college basketball games for that matter since. So why haven't we had another game? It isn't like that NCAA 10 was bad. We got a 7.8 out of 10 on IGN, and for a sports game, that's actually pretty good. Metacritic has it listed as a 75, and while sales weren't exceptional, there did seem to be a cult following for the title. But continuing the game was complicated when in July of 2009, former UCLA basketball player Ed O'Bannon filed a lawsuit against the NCAA and the Collegiate Licensing Company. O'Bannon was a player on the 1995 National Championship UCLA team, and that team was recreated in the game, as was O'Bannon. Same number and matching what he looks like in 1995, but without his name. Instead, the game simply listed him as number 31. Since college athletics were considered amateur rather than professional, it prevented players from being allowed to be compensated beyond scholarship and stipends. They got around this by modeling players after real-life people, but then just having their position and their number as their name. However, O'Bannon wasn't a student any longer. He was a retired NBA player, someone who should be compensated should his likeness be included in a game. That was being sold to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of players. So O'Bannon led a class action lawsuit which included former players who were not compensated for their likeness. Eventually, EA and the Collegiate Licensing Company paid $40 million and got out of the college athletic video game market entirely. The lawsuit eventually led to another lawsuit, the National Collegiate Athletic Association versus Alston, in 2021, which resulted in the Supreme Court ruling that the current NCAA athletes were entitled to profit off of their name, image, and likeness, or NIL. This allowed EA to begin negotiations with college football players to reboot their also discontinued college football franchise. Since the players were actually able to get paid now, this allowed for the release of College Football 25 in July of 2024. To say that College Football 25 was a success would be underselling it. The first college football title in 11 years was met with solid reviews and currently has an 83 on Metacritic, but the real success was the sales. By November of 2024, the game had become the best-selling sports video game in the United States by dollar sales of all time, beating out mainstays like Madden and NBA 2K for the title. As they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and if 11 years away can lead to such success for college football, imagine how successful a college basketball game could be. At the time of writing, the NCAA March Madness tournament is about to tip off. People around the world are filling out brackets, and productivity will inevitably decline during the workday over the next few weeks. It truly is a special part of American culture, one that makes stars out of complete unknowns and captures the nation's attention like nothing else. We eagerly await the storylines, upsets, and Cinderella runs that emerge every year. The pageantry is like no other. Years of memories come flooding back as soon as you hear that familiar March Madness theme. Triumphs and heartbreak in equal measure. The only thing missing is a video game. I could attempt to fire up my Xbox 360 and play my copy of NCAA March Madness 07, but I'm afraid that my launch 360 has been off for too long, and it may straight up explode if I even attempt it. Plus, I'd have to set up my AV to HDMI converter, and it's just such a hassle. Plus, the rosters are really out of date. Adam Morrison was the cover athlete, which if you know him only as a professional player, and you weren't around to watch him lead his Gonzaga squad to the Sweet 16, you're probably confused by that. But trust me, this guy was a superstar in the way that you can only be from March Madness. I'm surely not alone in this. I wish I could simply fire up my PlayStation 5 and download the latest NCAA college basketball game, but it doesn't exist. EA has given up on creating an NBA title since the release of NBA Live 19 in 2018. College basketball game could be a good way for EA to get back into the sport. Conversely, 2K has dominated with their NBA 2K games. It seems like it would be easier for them to follow an EA college football lead and revive their dormant college hoop series, which last had an entry in 2007. I don't like microtransactions, but if these companies don't want to go through the process of a yearly release due to the development costs, maybe they can create a college basketball hub game that can get updated rosters each year for a fee. It feels like they're leaving money on the table, and I'm fully ready to spend that money on a college basketball game, but I can't. So instead, I made a video complaining about it. So what do you think? Should EA or 2K create a new college basketball game? Does the mega success of college football sway you at all? Or do you believe that football is such a phenomenon in America that it can't really be compared to basketball? I'm open for that discussion. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. We have videos coming out every single week. Hopefully, if you're watching the NCAA tournament, you enjoy it and your favorite team does well. My favorite team's UConn. I don't think they're gonna win a third one in a row, but I'll probably fill out a bracket and have them winning. And then if they do, win a lot of money, just like the last 2 years. So give me your pick on who you think's going to win this year, and who would you like as a cover athlete in if they made a game next year. I just picked Cooper Flag because I know he's going to be like one of the higher, if not the first overall draft pick next year in the NBA draft. So it felt fitting. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.